At around 4:45 p.m. India time yesterday, the SpaceX Dragon capsule detached from the Harmony module's space-facing port, marking the start of its 22.5-hour-long homebound trek. The mission was the fourth private astronaut flight to the International Space Station, and it's now returning with over 580 pounds of cargo, which includes critical NASA hardware and scientific data from more than 60 on-board experiments. Among the crew is, of course, India's group captain, Shubhanshu Shukla, who made headlines for conducting 6 successful ham radio communications with schools and amateur stations across the world, a special outreach effort from orbit. The Dragon spacecraft will now slowly maneuver away and make a splashdown that will bring the spacecraft down off the coast of California. A splashdown that's scheduled for no earlier than 3 p.m. India time today, 15th of July, Tuesday. Union Minister Jitendra Singh took to social media platform X to wish the crew a safe return to Earth. He said, and I quote, "Welcome back, Shubhanshu. The entire nation eagerly awaits your arrival back home as you begin your return journey after successful undocking." Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla's parents too were eager to see him return after a successful stint at the International Space Station.
Other missions have been for is to do that research.
Right.
I think a lot of people don't realize astronauts are scientists.
They are. They are.
Doing a lot of experiments.
Exactly. First and foremost, the reason we're up there is to understand how are we going to keep doing this? How can we keep doing this? So every mission that we work together, we learn from each other. Every mission that this crew goes on, from AX1 up through AX4 now, we all build on the last mission before it. We've been doing it for years. We're going to continue to be doing this as well.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting to see them put that emphasis on not just the research, but also the outreach to get the next generation of people to do the next missions.
Yeah, I love it. If you're just now joining us, again, there is a clock in the middle of your screen where you can follow along with the timeline.
बहुत उत्साहित हैं। हमारा बेटा जो है मिशन से आज वापसी कर रहा है, आज पृथ्वी पर लैंड करेगा। ये हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य का दिन है और हम अपने को बड़ा गौरवान्वित महसूस करते हैं कि बेटे ने आज हमारी जो है इतना नाम रोशन कर दिया है कि अब हमेशा इतिहास तक लिखा जाएगा। ये हमारे लिए बहुत गौरव की बात। आज का दिन बहुत खास है। आज लैंडिंग होगी तो आज जो है उसको बस बेसब्री से इंतजार कर रहे हैं कि वो कितने टाइम लैंडिंग करें, उसके लिए देखने के लिए बस हम लोग बेताब हैं। उसकी सफल लैंडिंग जो होने के बाद ही हम लोगों को बिल्कुल जो है उत्साह भर जाएगा और हम लोग खुशी से पूरा आनंद से जो है उसको एंजॉय करेंगे और खुशी मनाएंगे।
अच्छा लगा अनडॉकिंग देखने के बाद जो है दिमाग में रहा कि हाँ भी रास्ते में है, आते होंगे अब आ रहे होंगे। जैसे आदमी प्लेन में बैठता है, ट्रेन में बैठता है, इंतजार करता है कि हमारे घर वाले आ रहे हैं, वैसे हम भी इंतजार कर रहे हैं कि बेटा हमारा सफर में है, अभी रास्ते में है, पहुंच रहा होगा, आज शाम तक पहुंच जाएगा। बहुत गौरव का विषय है हमारे लिए कि हमारे बच्चे ने ये सब कर दिखाया कि उसका इतिहास में नाम लिखा जाएगा और आगे आने वाली पीढ़ी को सबक मिलेगा इससे। ये हमारे लिए बहुत गौरव का विषय है।
On your screens now are latest live visuals and commentary coming to you from the broadcast of NASA in the US. Even as the Dragon spacecraft is all set for a splashdown at around 3 p.m. India time. The official timeline is that it will happen no earlier than 3 p.m. It could be some time after 3 p.m. as well. Bear in mind, from liftoff to landing, the Axiom-4 mission has been a mission of firsts, milestones and moments that bring space a little closer to us all.
And in December of 2010, Dragon became the first commercially built and operated spacecraft to be recovered successfully from orbit. And that mission, known as COTS-1, was the first demonstration flight for NASA's Commercial Orbital Transportation Services, or COTS program. And the purpose of COTS was to develop and demonstrate commercial sources for cargo resupply of the International Space Station. Now, fun fact, the Dragon that flew on this historic mission is currently actually hanging behind John and I in front of SpaceX Mission Control Hawthorne. And just 10 years later, in May of 2020, Demo 2 launched astronauts from U.S. soil for the first time in nearly a decade. Demo 2 was Dragon's first human spaceflight mission. The spacecraft, named Endeavour, carried NASA astronauts Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken to the International.
Now you have Group Captain V.N. Jha, former Joint Director DRDO and aerospace expert joining us here on the broadcast even as we count down to the big splashdown of the Axiom-4 mission, the Dragon spacecraft. Group Captain V.N. Jha, thank you for taking time out to be with us here for this momentous occasion here on News 9. What a mission of firsts, a mission of milestones, and we are touching distance away from the mission being completed successfully and our astronauts returning home safely, including our very own Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla.
Very good afternoon, Krishna. This is the subject of my heart. This is my book, first one in India. I had written about 5 years back. Human space mission, human space program is my specialty. I'm an aerospace scientist. So I'm eagerly waiting for him to land. But this particular splashdown will be absolutely scheduled. If the weather is calm over the place where it is scheduled to be, and if the sea is calm, then splashdown will happen exactly at the time what it has been scheduled, because there is no scope for any deviation. Right now, that spacecraft is traveling at about 27,500 kilometers per hour. It is in the orbit still now. And there will be a small window period into which the deorbit burning of the thrusters will start. After that deburning starts, in quick succession, the service module of that craft, which is right now attached to it, will be separated out, and the craft will continue descending oriented towards the Earth, towards its atmosphere for re-entry. And exactly it takes about 16 and a half minutes from the time of deorbit to the splashdown. That is absolutely pinpointed accuracy. There is no deviation into this. In case if that slot is taken, it will happen therein. Otherwise, it will go around the Earth again many times before again that California place comes up in its slotted approach. So that is how the entire thing is there. All these are pre-programmed. It is in the automation of the Crew Dragon. Pilot is there, both Shukla as well as Miss Whitson, they will be there. But they are just crew in loop of any abnormality in the flight schedule. Should anything go wrong with the automation, they will come into action. Otherwise, this is all absolutely automated. Everything will happen as per the schedule, which is fed by the SpaceX. As just now our commentator on the TV was mentioning that this is fourth for the Axiom. But then this has been happening right from 2020, from the first Crew Dragon model. This is absolutely precisely programmed sorties. Now coming back after that deboost happens, and crew comes, the Crew Dragon and makes the re-entry into the atmosphere. That is a period of slightly concern because it takes about 2.5 minutes to pass through the majority of the atmosphere in the upper atmosphere, when the temperature around the capsule will be in the vicinity of about 2000 degrees Celsius, plus minus 100 or 200 degree. It could go up to 2200, or it could be about 1800 degrees Celsius. That is the time when it is passing through the plasma. Any communication, any radio communication from the capsule will not be possible. That is a small dark period of about 2.5 minutes of the radio silence. And then thereafter, the moment it comes down, passes through that, it will come to the upper atmosphere. The drogue chute will open up, that will come out, deploy and stabilize the Crew Dragon coming towards its trajectory. And when it is about a few thousand feet above the surface of the water, all the 4 chutes will deploy, and it will come for a very smooth landing splashdown over the designated place. The moment splashdown happens, within minutes, the crew from the SpaceX, they will come to the crew model, see everything is normal, see that there is no sign of any undue radiation or undue fire activity in and around. The vehicle comes up there, tow ship comes up there, that will pick it up. And since the crew have been there for about 17 days, it's a fairly good time when they have been without gravity. See, when you are without gravity, when you are weightless, your body adopts a different posture. And they have been in that posture. Anti-gravity muscles, they usually become slightly recessive. They are not very active. So in the initial few minutes, they will find it slightly difficult to get up suddenly or something. That is why they are discouraged from getting up. They will be taken in the stretcher. Although they are all fine, absolutely normal, and within minutes of coming back to the earth, they will start regaining the strength in their muscles. Muscles and bone are something which is slightly vulnerable in the zero gravity. Bone has got the tendency to demineralize, and the muscles have got a tendency to wastage. So there is a laid down exercise program to avoid these things happening. And every day, religiously, 1.5 to 2 hours, they do the treadmill exercise strapped onto the treadmill. They do that sort of exercise. And with that, they try and avoid everything. Also remember, they were used to hear 24 hours of the circadian rhythm. They were used to hear 12 hours of the day and 12 hours of the night. But when they have gone up there in the space, in the ISS, they have lived in 90 minutes of the day. That means 45 minutes of the daytime and the 45 minutes of the night time. The moment it is towards the sun in front of the earth, it is the daytime for them. And the moment that Crew Dragon comes from the shade side of the earth, it is in the night time. So they have been living in that. They have been trying to sleep in that, and they have adapted to that. From that, they will find a slight bit of, reorientation when they come here on the earth, but nothing wrong with the body. They will be all absolutely fine after initial checkup by the doctor. They have laid down certain recuperative schedule of about 7 days in which they regain all those functions what they had before going to the International Space Station. So congratulations to the entire team. They would have gathered a lot of the experience of these 18 days at the International Space Station, which will be of immense importance to the Gaganyaan program as well as the Bharati Space Station as and when that happens. Krishna.
Right, stay with us. Our Group Captain V.N. Jha. We're also being joined by Dr. W. Selvamurthy, President, Amity Science, Technology and Innovation Foundation and former DG of the DRDO. We also have Dr. Smriti Mahajan, Director, Educational Partnerships, Starscape Sciences, also joining us. Dr. Smriti Mahajan and Dr. Selvamurthy, thank you, both of you, for joining us on this broadcast on this very special occasion as well. Let me take this across to Dr. Smriti Mahajan. We are counting down to the big splashdown, an important moment for manned space mission for the world, and more importantly, specifically for India. Dr. Smriti Mahajan.
Yes, of course. I think this is a milestone mission globally, as you said, not just for the world. It's also for India. You know, our second astronaut in space after 40 years, the Indian space station, and right on time. A very strategic, I believe, step by ISRO. Because, we are planning, as I was saying, our own space station to be in the orbit by mid-2030s. And of course, our Gaganyaan mission, which will take the crewed space flight from India, again, an indigenous mission. So a very, very strategic step by ISRO, and I'm very happy, and I'm sure I'm echoing the feelings of the entire nation today when I say that we are not just proud, we are inspired, and we are very happy that this mission is coming to a close, and fingers crossed, everything will happen to plan. Krishna.
Right, we are eagerly awaiting that splashdown, a successful mission. We're hoping we'll have a successful finish as well. Dr. Selvamurthy, even as we're counting down to this splashdown, what are the thoughts on your head? It's clear that this is a big moment for space and India's own space ambitions, but also for the way forward as far as space itself is concerned.
Krishna, thank you for having me on this show, and so we are all excited, we are jubilant, and also eagerly awaiting the return of our own Gaganyatri, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, who is expected to splash down in California coast in a few minutes from now, maybe half an hour, 30 minutes. And so this India today is different. It is an aspirational India. It is moving towards Viksit Bharat, the vision which Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has given to the country. So for which you need to excel in many areas. Whatever we do, we need to be on the top. So here again in space sector, if you look at during the last about a decade or so, there has been an exponential growth in terms of building the capability, capacity, and roping in the national participation by opening up to the private sector and space economy to contribute from India quite a lot. So there is a lot of aspirations for space research because it has tremendous application in agriculture, health, and also in education, communication, and strategic applications for the defense. So there are numerous applications over which you also need to look at the potentials of doing things differently in the hypogravity environment. Many things which you can't do it here in the planes can be done in the International Space Station and in the microgravity environment. So there is a tremendous opportunity. So this is a very important milestone because 2 years from now, the Gaganyaan mission is in the cards. And then this input which is coming from Shubhanshu Shukla and also from all the learning which he had as a pilot who has been piloting the whole mission, Axiom-4 mission, that's a great operational experience also he brings in addition to the experiments which he has conducted in the biological side, the agriculture side, human physiology, cognitive functions, and so many experiments which he has done coming with those data, valuable data, which will be analyzed and then meaningful knowledge will be synthesized out of it. But all this will feed into our Gaganyaan mission. This is how a capability builds to put a man in space. There's so many safety issues, human factors issues, operational issues, and Six Sigma in management of the program, mission planning, execution. All this requires telemetric communication. Everything needs precision, accuracy, redundancy. So all this learning would be happening through this mission which we are doing today. So this is a very great moment for all of us because I should also appreciate our scientists, technicians in the ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, who has played a significant role in right from selection of the right person who has gone there, Group Captain Shukla, and then also training him, preparing him to face those environment, both in physical, physiological, and psychological planes. And also, he has been given the right kind of wherewithal in terms of the space suit, the life support systems, human factors which are required to be there for survival and for efficiency. In addition, he has also been practicing yoga in space. So I would like to mention the viewers that he has been trained in yoga prior to that. That is going to help him because yoga has got prophylactic, promotive, and curative potentials. And so he has done that before he goes. So in the preparation, he has also done that. So this is yet another yoga getting into space is really commendable. So with all this experience, we will gain a lot of information and we must acknowledge the support of NASA, SpaceX, and also the Axiom-4 mission group. And this kind of international participation also brings a dimension of Vasudeva Kudumbakam. This is what is the philosophy of India has been always. So we like to look at the whole globe, the whole family as a global family. So that this is yet another exemplification. When he has carried the halwa from here, from the Defense Food Research Laboratory, and he is able to share it with his colleagues there. So this type of sharing is also a phenomena, and the leadership role which he has assumed as a pilot. So these are all, right person has been selected, and right person has done his mission very perfectly there, as we have come to know. And now this is for us to see that how do we leverage the outcome from all those great experiments which he has done, and the other crews who have been there in this mission have carried out from 31 countries, 60 experiments. These are all very, very valuable to for humanity. For example, if you have to stay in International Space Station for a long time, you need to give him fresh food. You cannot be dependent only on a processed food or retort processed food. You need to have fresh food. That is the human psychology to crave for fresh food. So how do you cultivate vegetables there? So he is looking at the germination. He is looking at the microalgae, which is going to give oxygen, food, as well as fuel. A biofuel can be generated from that. So this experiment which he has carried out at microalgae, another set of experiments which he has carried out at the cyanobacterium is yet another important work which he has done to look at how does it multiply, how does it grow, cell cycles. So these are the knowledge which we will be gaining. In addition, the cognition, because most of the time you are looking at the gadgets there, your communication, the voice communication, how do you synthesize the right kind of, sometimes you might miss the exact pronunciation or semantics. So voice recognition, then cognition in terms of concentration, memory, learning efficiency, psychomotor performance, circadian rhythm, which Group Captain Jha has clearly brought out, and sleep. And using these wearable devices, which he has been using it, we have validated those systems. When it comes down with the next mission, Gaganyaan mission, all this will find application. So I'm eagerly looking forward to seeing this splashdown, and we wish everything goes very well, because this is why you call it as a rocket science. When you say simple science experiments when you do, it's not a big rocket science, because rocket science is so complicated, complex. And in this mission, for example, you have propulsion, solid propulsion, liquid propulsion, then control, guidance, navigation, putting at the right orbit, computation of the right orbit, and then taking it over there, and then separating the payload at different stages, and then getting into docking into the International Space Station, and then also undocking after the mission is achieved, after 18 days. So these all need precision in this. So that is why we call it as it's rocket science. So such complications, and we are learning, and India has learned, come a long way since independence, and since the ISRO was a long period, but which we been able to SLV, lunar mission, we soft landed on the southern part of the moon for the first time. We created history there. Similarly, we were able to also send the orbital mission, Mars orbital mission, which is Mangalyaan. Again, this we did so economically. So we are frugal in every expenditure. So it becomes very, very big learning for us. How can you do that in such a small amount of money? Which is again the frugal innovations and the frugal governance of the big programs like this is another thing which India is very capable of. So we have done that. Then L1 Aditya L1 mission, which is doing very well now. We are getting huge data coming from here. And then in the cards is a very aspirational program of International Space Station. Our own Bharatiya Antariksh Station, which we have planned maybe by 2035 or 2040. We hope that we have our own International Space Station, because space can offer exciting opportunities for learning. Many even exotic materials can we create. Can we reduce the vaccine development duration? Can we do the DNA expressions over there? Can we find a remedy to cancer? Can we find an ameliorating agent for osteoporosis, which is the bone mineral density going down, leading to fractures? So there is a numerous possibility of looking at space. That is why the International Space Station, our Indian space station, we want to create in space. So these are all on the cards. So I must also once again thank Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, who has actually envisioned this program to happen. When he visited in the year 2023, when he visited US and then met the then President of the United States of America, the seed was sown at that time, and today it has become a reality. And so then subsequently ISRO carried out on a mission mode, all this within 2 years. We were able to do that in less than 2 years. So this is again a big learning for preparing a Gaganyatri to get into International Space Station, bring him safely, and then making him a pilot of the mission. These are all great learning, and we are so proud of our country and proud to be an Indian scientist who have served in the government for 40 years and now serving in the academic institution, Amity University for the last 12 years. And we have a space in all education institutions, space science and technology should come. Because you need people right from design, development, and also mission planning, mission execution, and synthesizing the knowledge out of the data which comes out. So I would like to give a clarion call to all educational institutions. Please launch programs on space science and technology. It could be degree, we have launched in Amity University, Amity Institute of Space Science and Technology, and we are giving undergraduate, postgraduate, doctoral program, certificate program, training, because you need, the space economy is huge. So how do we contribute, India to contribute to space economy? Now it's very minuscule, our share. But then how do we expand? Because you get a lot of remote sensing data coming down from various missions as well as from satellites. How do you synthesize the knowledge out of it for agriculture? For example, you can do precision agriculture and you don't have to give water ad lib. You don't have to give the fertilizers ad lib. So you can precisely what the soil requires, you can provide that. You can do the crop health monitoring of the data. You can guide the farmers. If there is a pesticide coming in at the early stage, can you just prevent the disease spread? So there is a tremendous application in agriculture for health monitoring of the crop. So in the education sector, in the communication sector, and also in the health sector. Right. So there is a tremendous opportunity. So I'm sure all the institutions and the people, because now it is open to private, is open to the public.
That's a very important development, the fact that more private participation in space. Group Captain V.N. Jha, this is the 4th private astronaut flight to the International Space Station, and that's also an important sign of things to come as far as space itself is concerned.
This is a private player, Axiom Services, which is doing a work similar to what we have in space here with the ISRO. So they are tying up with all private players or private agencies or universities or another country who want to send their crew to a astronaut with the participation financially as well. So it's their tying up or coordinator in chief for tying up with the SpaceX as well as NASA to enable the things to happen. Earlier, only NASA used to do it. Now there is no more NASA regular rocket flight to the International Space Station. So SpaceX has taken up here in the US as well as Roscosmos. They are still sending their vehicle to the International Space Station. And do you know, Krishna, while sending the crew from here, SpaceX still takes about 29 hours for sending the crew for docking. But Roscosmos, they are able to do in 5 hours, 5 minutes. That is what they have done in the last. So there are, of course, intricacies. There are a difference where they do, but all said and done, the differences or the variations in what we see here. Now, as far as this particular program is going on, look, the training onto which Shubhanshu Shukla has gone through, It is something of the SpaceX technology that as such cannot be applied to Gaganyaan. Our rockets are different, or our crew models are different. The controls are different. The thrusters, they had about 16 thrusters in the Crew Dragon. In our space capsule, I believe the thrusters should be much less. So the technology-wise, possibly there will be a phase of de-learning before Shubhanshu Shukla gets onto the Gaganyaan space mission. But look, the experience, the concept, what I was talking to, my book is only on the concept. Concept remains the same. Right now, as I told you, the time is the one when that window of decision will be there for the de-orbit to happen. And within 16 minutes, the Crew Dragon will come through the atmosphere and do the splashdown. So that is what will happen. And in this time, everything is automated. Crew is only as a takeover of the emergency. In case should any emergency happen here in this case, or if the automation has gone slightly off the track, then these crew, Peggy Whitson as well as Shukla, they will come into a loop. Otherwise, they are just astronauts in loop. The automation will carry on everything right from the deorbit burns, the detachment of the service module of the Crew Dragon, and splashdown. Everything will happen on its own. Right now, SpaceX also has, developed the provisions into even that deorbiting. It will be tracked. There are cameras in the space which will be tracking all these events, including those re-entry phase when the entire capsule will be seemingly under the fire of about 2000 degrees Celsius plus minus 150 degree. So even during that phase, it will be tracked on, it will be video recording will be happening. So that will come onto your TV ISS. That is the type of expertise SpaceX has built up. This is phenomenal. Otherwise, earlier when NASA is to send, this 2.5 minutes phase of that re-entry,
right.
The capsule is to be within the plasma, was absolutely when you didn't know what is happening there. So I wish the entire team the very best of luck.
Yeah.
They come for the splashdown normal.
Group Captain Vianja, stay with us. We're taking a very short breather. We will continue with our coverage in just a minute. Keep it with News9.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9. English news as it should be.
Associate sponsor, Dyna Premium Beauty Soap. Pehli jhalak kare खूबसूरत.
Fresh air. The roof, but different. The grill, but different. The alloys, but different. The seats, but different. Different is in the XUV 3XO Rev X series, starting at rupees 8.94 lakh.
पार्टी हॉर्न्स भी होने चाहिए। मंगा लेती हूँ। खाकरा मंगवा लेती हूँ। थेपला भी मंगवाएगी। थेपला भी मंगवा लेती हूँ। अलग अलग मत ऑर्डर कर, एक बार में मंगवा। एफर्ट्स और पैसे दोनों बचा। सेविंग्स की विद्या तो कोई तुझसे सीखे। जब पैसा हो बचाना, फेडरल बैंक से रिश्ता बनाना।
It's never easy to choose a new path, stand out in the crowd, to have your own new identity. The journey to self-reliance begins when you're fully prepared. Tata Motors Commercial Vehicles presents the new Ace Pro, now in bi-fuel, EV and petrol variants. So get ready to say it loud. Ace Pro, ab meri bari.
रास्ता है वही शहर, बदले हैं नजारे या नजर।
चाचा, इतना सारा पानी, ट्यूबवेल, बिजली तो आती जाती है। ये सब अपना सूरज है ना, सब उसका कमाल है। सूरज।
राकेश, तू कब आया अभी लाइट से?
अरे वाह ताई, पहचान गई? शहर जाके आँख का ऑपरेशन करा लिया क्या?
शहर जा मेरी जूती, मैंने यहीं अपने गांव में ही करवा लिया। वो जो सूरज है ना अपना, वो सब कर रहा है।
अरे राकेश!
अरे राकेश!
अरे वाह छोटी, ये स्कूल में सीखा?
इंटरनेट पे।
इंटरनेट?
हाँ, सूरज भैया है ना।
कौन है ये सूरज भैया?
आपको उनसे मिलना है क्या?
हाँ?
चलो, वो रहे सूरज भैया।
का सफर दिलचस्प है।
हम सूरज से सिर्फ बिजली नहीं बनाते हैं, खुशहाली को देश के कोने कोने तक भी पहुंचाते हैं। अदानी, हम करके दिखाते हैं।
We are counting down to the splashdown of the Dragon spacecraft carrying the Axiom-4 crew. That includes our very own Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla. We are about 20 minutes, not about 20 minutes, 10 minutes plus actually when it comes to that splashdown. The scheduled time is 3:01 p.m. India time. We have Dr. Smriti Mahajan, Director Educational Partnerships, Starscapes Experiences with us on the broadcast. Dr. Smriti Mahajan, about 10 minutes time from now, there will be that all-important splashdown off the coast of California in the Pacific Ocean. And with that splashdown, many new dreams and many new aspirations will be born for the space sector in India.
Indeed, Krishna. I think this is one point where, Rakesh Sharma's 1984 endeavor is very different from Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla's current achievements. So two things. One is, the presence of social media, presence of coverage and very easy coverage, easily available coverage for not just people in cities, but, around the globe, kids, especially in India, who are in small towns, in villages, who are seeing these visuals and images, not just of the splashdown, but live from the space station. And for us, it is very important as a country because, about 60% of our population is young, is below the age of 35. And I think this is an opportunity where we are not just inspiring our kids to take up STEM education, to dwell into scientific fields in terms of their education, but also in the context of entrepreneurial ventures in the near future. So this event is not just a milestone in the history of India's space exploration journey, but also I believe a milestone which is inspiring an entire generation of space explorers and entrepreneurs who will join the space race in one form or the other. Now, at the moment, there was a little bit discussion about this earlier on. So right now, the space industry itself is about a little over $600 million industry. But in 2035, it is expected to touch the $1.8 trillion mark. Now, India right now is capping just about 2 to 3% of this market. But with our Gaganyaan mission, with the Bharat Antariksha space station, and events like this, which are inspiring the whole generation of space explorers, I'm sure we are going to change those numbers very soon and very quickly. We already have the technology, on the space station, where we are talking about orbital data centers. We are talking about space agriculture. We are talking about building stuff, manufacturing stuff on space. I won't be surprised if in a decade's time, we'll be surrounded by materials which are made in space because they can be made, some of them can be made better. For instance, we already know that some of the drugs which were tested, the medicines which were tested for various disorders on the International Space Station have now been approved by United Nations Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, for clinical trials on Earth. We already know that the optical fibers which are manufactured in space have low signal distortion. So it makes data transmission more reliable using those optical fibers. So we are seeing many of these examples, and in the times to come, we'll only be seeing more of these, especially with privatization of the space sector. Krishna.
Right, Dr. Smriti Mahajan, please stay on with us as we continue to our countdown. About 5 minutes to go for that all-important splashdown. We are taking a very quick breather. Back with the splashdown. Stay with News 9.
एसोसिएट स्पॉन्सर एंकर टूथपेस्ट, नए जमाने की नई सुरक्षा।
बढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
सर, पेन रिलीफ के लिए
ये देखो, ये काफी है।
2 हफ्ते का टूर है, कहीं कम ना पड़ जाए।
दुबे जी, ये छोटा सा डायनाबार QPS प्लस आपके 2 स्प्रे के बराबर है।
पेश है डायनाबार QPS प्लस।
लगा के देखो, मान जाओगे।
डायनाबार QPS प्लस।
Delivery boys picked your order.
We know you are hungry. The message notification said it would take 30 minutes.
We can't just rely on a message.
Didn't you sell some shares yesterday?
Yes. So
did you check them?
I got a message.
You can't just rely on one message. If you make any transactions in the stock market, cross-check the SMS or email you receive from the stock exchange with your Demat account as well as bank statement.
Beta, when one's hungry, the brain doesn't function properly.
सोच कर, समझ कर, इन्वेस्ट कर। रास्ता है वही, वही शहर, बदले हैं नजारे या नजर।
चाचा, इतना सारा पानी, ट्यूबवेल, बिजली तो आती जाती है, ये सब अपना सूरज है ना, सब उसका कमाल है। सूरज।
राकेश, तू कब आया अभी लाइट से?
अरे वाह ताई, पहचान गई। शहर जाके आँख का ऑपरेशन करा लिया क्या?
शहर जाए मेरी जूती, मैंने यहीं अपने गांव में ही करवा लिया। वो जो सूरज है ना अपना, वो सब कर रहा है।
अरे राकेश,
अरे राकेश,
अरे वाह छोटी, ये स्कूल में सीखा?
इंटरनेट पे।
इंटरनेट?
हाँ, सूरज भैया है ना।
कौन है ये सूरज भैया?
आपको उनसे मिलना है क्या?
हाँ?
चलो, वो रहे सूरज भैया।
का सफर दिलचस्प है।
हम सूरज से सिर्फ बिजली नहीं बनाते हैं, खुशहाली को देश के कोने कोने तक भी पहुंचाते हैं। अदानी, हम करके दिखाते हैं।
Welcome back. You're watching News9. The hatches were sealed and the journey back to Earth officially began yesterday. The splashdown of the Axiom-4 mission module that successfully undocked from ISS earlier yesterday would be entering in less than 4 minutes from now. Remember, at precisely 4:45 p.m. IST, the SpaceX Dragon capsule detached from the Harmony module space-facing port, marking the start of the 22-hour-and-a-half homebound trek for Shubhanshu Shukla. This was the mission which took India's aspiration with it. The mission was the 4th private astronaut flight to ISS, and it's now returning with over 580 pounds of cargo, which includes critical NASA hardware, scientific data from more than 60 onboard experiments. And among the crew is India's Shubhanshu Shukla, who made headlines for conducting 6 successful ham radio communications with schools and amateur stations across the world, a special outreach effort from orbit.
The initial drogue shoots, Dragon automatically safes the propulsion system. Dragon then deploys its drogue parachutes to stabilize and automatically rotate to 26 degrees, which we just saw there, to keep the crew within acceptable G limits for entry and landing. And
excellent view.
Great view. Drogue parachutes are deployed. View looking forward.
Drogue descent rate nominal.
Axiom Mission 4 crew members is on course to re-enter Earth's atmosphere today in just under a minute from now, following an 18-day stay at the ISS.
Up at the chutes.
The crew currently aboard the SpaceX Dragon spacecraft is scheduled to splash down off the coast of San Diego at about 3 p.m. IST, the Indian Standard Time.
If you're just joining us, we
The AX-4 crew, including Shukla, departed from ISS on 14th of July, marking the end of their mission in low Earth orbit.
2.5 minutes out from splashdown, and our main chutes have deployed.
Main chute descent rate nominal.
The speed is now below 30 kilometers. And what a beautiful sight. Copy. Main chute descent rate nominal 1,000 meters for Dragon.
We copy 1,000 meters.
Great visual confirmation as well as those comms that the 4 main parachutes have deployed. Again, we are going to be slowing down the vehicle from 350 miles per hour all the way down to just about 15, 16 miles per hour by the time that the vehicle touches down and splashes down into the ocean.
Exactly right. You know, you mentioned these beautiful visual confirmations that we're getting. You know, an important aspect of today's specific splashdown is
all right, there you have it, the Dragon capsule with parachutes deployed, the splashdown in just under a couple of seconds. This is the most awaited moment. This will be the return of Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, who will begin now his week-long rehabilitation program to help his body readjust to Earth's gravity following his time in microgravity aboard the ISS.
Coming off the coast of my hometown.
The recovery plan will commence immediately after the splashdown in Pacific Ocean off the coast of California.
600 meters.
Those are very crucial images there on your screens right now with the splashdown
in water is a lot simpler,
expected in just a couple of seconds.
Provides a little bit of margin against unlikely parachute issues. We did have to learn how to make Dragon waterproof as we are splashing down into the ocean. But
SpaceX copies 400 meters. Reminder to brace for splashdown.
All right, just a couple of seconds to that splashdown. Remember, this is precisely the 4th private astronaut flight to the ISS. It's now returning with about 580 pounds of cargo. Those are very crucial last few seconds of the splashdown.
The vehicle's signature through things like cloud lighter and any kind of atmospheric disturbance allows us to maintain visual contact with the vehicle as it's making its final descent.
That final descent there into Pacific Ocean off the coast of California.
Pacific fog is rolling in.
We've got some very bright lights as Dragon, you can see the ocean there. Dragon is about to touch down in just a few seconds here.
And working their way towards the vehicle are the SpaceX and Axiom support teams that will be present for the next phase of our splashdown coverage today. At this point, we'll be waiting for confirmation of the crew's safe landing, and then we'll move into the phases of this mission, which are really, let's recover the vehicle, let's recover the crew, let's make our assessments.
Jamal Malik, Garba Garam Chai Kariwala from Mumbai. Let's play call Malik.
You can also see the rescue team. The rescue ship. They are the ones who will recover these people from the Children, now you can see the rescue ships. The rescue ships go to recover these people from water. And then they do the doffing and all that. Yeah. I think and this is a moment that we should all take to pray for the success of this mission. A loud round of applause for Shubhanshu, for India, and for the Axiom-4 mission. A huge round of congratulations to the entire family.
just got great confirmation that Crew has splashed down. So Dragon successfully re-entered the Earth's atmosphere, followed by deployment of its parachutes to slow the spacecraft down to a gentle 15 miles per hour. And at that point, they successfully splashed down in the Pacific Ocean at 2:31 a.m. Pacific time, off the coast of Southern California.
Okay, students,
so at this
just
point, like
settle
you
down.
mentioned, Jesse, we are
Just sit
just
down.
waiting for Dragon's recovery.
You've seen something historic right now. And if you just keep looking at the
Dragon
screen,
automatically releases the main parachutes
you
to
will
prevent
see
wind
how
from pulling the
they will be
spacecraft.
brought out.
Successfully re-entered the Earth's atmosphere, followed by deployment of its parachutes to slow the spacecraft down to a gentle 15 miles per hour. And at that point, they successfully splashed down in the Pacific Ocean at 2:31 a.m. Pacific time, off the coast of Southern California. So at this point, like you mentioned, Jesse, we are just waiting for Dragon's recovery from Shannon.
Yeah, upon detection of landing, Dragon
And Bharat has today truly found an enduring space in the world of space. It's a moment of pride for the whole world and a moment of glory for India as one of her illustrious sons returns back after accomplishing a successful voyage and after having conducted some of the very vital life-bearing experiments never done before. And therefore, as I said, today indeed Bharat has found an enduring space in the world of space. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And as you all know, the chronology of it that would follow, all of them would be in the quarantine for over next 1 week, maybe up to 23rd. And from 24th onwards, they would be having team discussions with the experts from the ISRO. Then for the next 3-4 days that will continue, after which they would be spending time having separate discussions with the representatives of Axiom, representatives of SpaceX, and representatives of NASA separately. That's called debriefing. And after that is accomplished, which would go on for about maybe nearly 2 weeks, till about 12th or 13th of April, then they'll start preparations for returning home in case of Shubhanshu to return back to India. So that could be around 14th or 15th, the preparations will begin. And as of now, we speculate that he should be with us over here on the 17th of August.
17th.
जैसा मैंने कहा कि विश्व के लिए ये गर्व का पल तो है ही है, भारत के लिए एक अद्भुत आनंद का पल कि भारत मां का एक सुपुत्र आज कामयाबी से लौटा है, एक ऐसे प्रयोग से, एक ऐसी यात्रा से जिसमें बहुत सारे ऐसे एक्सपेरिमेंट्स किए गए जो पहले कभी ना किए गए थे, लेकिन जिनका समस्त मानव जाति के लिए महत्व रहेगा। और जैसे मोदी जी हमें हमेशा सिखाते हैं वसुदेव कुटुंबकम, और साथ ही साथ हमें याद करवाते हैं कि भारत को विश्व बंधु बन करके अपनी भूमिका निभानी है। आज
ठीक है, आराम से जी सर।
अरे
वो यहाँ पर उसके
अरे यार वैर उलझ गया। भैया भैया इधर आइए थोड़ा।
यार हो गया तो
पृथ्वी पर वापस आ गए हैं। जिस तरह से ये पूरा मिशन रहा और जो नासा के तमाम वैज्ञानिक से जुड़े हुए थे बेटा वापस आ गया। You deserve the biggest speech actually.
अभी और बाकी है और देखते हैं फिर कहते हैं फॉर श्योर।
अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा लगा। हाँ तो ये जो है बहुत अच्छा
क्या कुछ कहना चाहेंगे सर?
बाबू जी बड़ा गर्व की बात है, क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
यहाँ आप
अब वही है, ईश्वर को धन्यवाद करते हैं, सभी लोगों का मतलब आभार प्रकट करते हैं जिन्होंने हमारे बच्चे को आशीर्वाद दिया और मिशन पूरा हुआ, उसके लिए सबको हम आभार प्रकट करते हैं और ईश्वर को धन्यवाद।
आपकी आखिरी बात कल हुई थी, क्या कुछ उस समय बात हुई थी? अब तो पूरा मिशन कंप्लीट हो गया, क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
धन्यवाद, आपको धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद और साथ में आप लोगों का भी धन्यवाद जो आप लोगों ने इतना जो है इतना सबको दिखाया, पूरी मेहनत की, दिल दुनिया को दिखाया कि कैसे गया और कैसे आया बेटा, मतलब पूरा आप लोगों ने दिखाया। इसके लिए आप सबको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
आंटी थोड़ा इमोशनल भी हो गई थी आप उस वक्त जब लैंडिंग हो
बेटा इतने दिन बाद लौटा है तो थोड़ा सा भावुक होना बनता है,
लेकिन खुशी से
बहुत ज्यादा।
कल बात हुई थी, क्या कुछ बात हुई थी? क्या कह रहे
कल नहीं बात हुई है, परसों बात हुई।
आंटी खुशी के आंसू है, खुशी के आंसू है। आपको धन्यवाद है, सबको धन्यवाद है,
सबको धन्यवाद है।
पूरा परिवार
बहुत बड़ा मिशन करके आया। करो करो आप करो ना, आप जाओ इधर इधर जाओ। We still have something to watch.